Hello guys and welcome to TRRL. This is round 11 of season 3 for Division 2. Um, this is the penultimate race. We only have one more after this and that is France. So it is coming to an end. It's been very quick to be fair so far. I can't believe it's nearly at the end of the season already. I believe Jesper can also win the championship this race. I will check how many points he needs, as I cannot remember. Um, let me check quickly, see if I can quickly work this out. So he's 19 points ahead of Lifer. So all he'll need is six. All he'll need to do is gain 6 more points than Blyther this race to win the championship. Mate, it does appear to be wet quality, which is very nice indeed for a lot of these drivers. Unfortunately, we only do have 11 today. Quite a few drivers were not able to make it, which is unfortunate. And also, I would like to mention a big thank you to Simracer Coin for sponsoring our streams. They help contribute to the prize money in Division 1, so a big thank you to them. But anyway, short quali, 50% race. We will see how the drivers get on in these wet conditions in qualifying. Obviously, I do not know if the race is wet or not, but as always, Vano is out on track first. He's always the one to come out on the track first. So we will stay on board with the AlphaTauri driver as he makes his way around the track for the first person to be out and the first person to experience the wet conditions, as this is going to be very tricky indeed through sector 1, as it will be very easy to slip out. So it is a dry race, so that's going to change a lot of people's setup indeed, as obviously you don't want to run a too high downforce setup in qualifying because it will compromise your race. But just behind him, it does appear there is a Red Bull, and there's only one Red Bull with us today, so that Red Bull will be, in fact, Blyther, who's currently challenging for the title on Jesper. But obviously, Jesper only has to outscore Blyther by. Oh no, Blyther. Sorry, the points are different. So, if I'm correct, okay, we'll have to work it out after quali, because obviously in this division you do get 5 points for pole position. And I believe Vano is just letting Blyther pass it, so we'll now hop on board with Blyther as he will be the next one to start his hot lap. So Blyther in the Red Bull will come around the front corner now to start his hot lap. Now, one thing we're also going to have to bear in mind is, will these conditions get worse or better as the qualifying session goes on? Because obviously, if these conditions are going to get worse, you're going to want to get your lap in as quickly as possible. But if they get better, then the lap here doesn't matter too much. And that's a yellow sector 3. That is just Vano slowing down to make sure he's not in the 30 out of any driver. So Blyther taking a little bit of grass there on the entry to turn 8. I believe in getting a little bit wobbly out the exit there, or turn 9. And obviously it will be tricky in these wet conditions, as there will be a lot less grip for these drivers. Just behind him, I believe that AlphaTauri is Spillage, as Vano let them pass. Yes, it is. So Spillage is not too far behind Blyther. So we see what time Spillage and Blyther can both set, and for obviously the time that the other drivers will be chasing. So, finishing sector 2 now, Blyther has done a 120.7. What is Spillage doing? A 121.4. So Blyther currently 7 tenths up on Spillage as it stands. So if he can keep up that pace, he will be going on the provisional pole. But Blyther decides to cut the corner, which means now Spillage will be on pole position for now, as Blyther decided to cut the corner. So he will take pole position, provisional pole position. I don't know. He will be on. He's currently sat in pole position with a 139.8 next across the line. I believe that is Jesper with a 140.2, 4 tenths slower than Spillage. Next across the line, I believe it is Vano. Now, what time is Vano doing? No, it's not Vano. Who is the car? It is Vano, never mind. And Vano's going to come across the line to set a 144.7, so about 4.5 seconds off the pace of Jesper, maybe just taking an extra lap or just struggling in these wet conditions. Reserve driver sets a 140.5. Unfortunately, it is invalidated though, so he will not be given the lap time. Now, Sicario will come across the line to set a 140.5, 3 tenths slower than Jesper. That puts him up into P3 currently. Next across the line is Eagles in the Ferrari. He will set a 141 flat and go 4 fastest overall. Next across the line, I believe it is Joe, and Joe goes fastest by 4 tenths, putting his Aston Martin up in the P1 with his teammate currently sat in P3. Nilla currently comes across the line to start his hot lap. Now next across the line, it will be an AlphaTauri driver, if I can find them. It will be Spillage, who's currently just put in the fastest sector 2, so he could be on for a very, very quick time here indeed. As he comes across the final couple corners now, he's actually going to come straight into the pits. Not too sure why he's doing that. Maybe the rain is drying up. But next to us line, I believe it will be Jesper, who set a 140.2 in his lap beforehand. He's going to come across the line to set a 139.8. Just sneaks ahead of Spillage there with the time he has set. Next cross line is an Alpine, and that will be Stefan, I believe. Stefan will be... no, is it? No, it is Vano. Eagles is setting quicker. Vano is 2.4 seconds up on his time, so we'll stay on board with the AlphaTauri driver. Actually, he's just come across the line and set a 142.3. Stays in the same position, but it is faster than what he was currently doing, so good job to him on improving on his lap. Stefan gets faster overall with a 139.2, 2 tenths quicker than the driver beforehand. I believe Eagles will be next across the line. He's currently 6 tenths up on his time. This could be no position changes. There's 1.2 seconds between him and 6th place, but it will be an improvement on his time by nearly 2 tenths. But unfortunately stays in 7th place next across the line, just like Blyther, who's just started his hot lap. Then we do have Nilla coming around the final corner, but unfortunately he has invalidated. Next across the line is Joe, but he doesn't appear to be going any faster than his current time, and not by a lot either. Joshua has currently invalidated as well, and I believe the Monkey Mafia will be the next across the line, so we'll stay on board with him through sector 2 and then on to sector 3. So the Williams currently flying right now, looking like a very good time indeed. We'll see what it is as he comes across the line in a few corners time, or just one more corner, just around the long left-hander. He's going to come across the line with a 140 flat, and that is enough to take P7 currently. Next across the line, it does look like it will be the other Alpine of Ray, so we'll stay on board with him as he's currently 8 tenths up on his time and could be looking at sitting his car onto pole position currently as it stands. So he crosses the line, goes fastest overall by 3 tenths, and actually Stefan says that is not going to last too long and goes fastest by 1.5 tenths, puts his Williams up into pole position with the Alpine moved down in the P2. Next cross line, it looks like it is an AlphaTauri, and that will be Vano, who's coming into the pits of Ferrari crossing their line. Nope, They're just starting their hot lap. Blythe will be next across the line. He has put in a 139.5. Unfortunately, it was invalidated, so he will have to go again. Miller will be next across the line for his first lap of the session. It's a 140.5. It's not enough to move him up any positions. Looks like Sicario is going into the pits. Just will be next across the line, and he's currently going through sector 2 as it stands. So I do apologise today, guys, if my commentary isn't as good as it normally is. Well, I say it's good, it's never really been good. I've just not been very well recently. I had my jab for COVID, and I've not been too good myself. I actually threw up just before the race, the commentary, so I'm absolutely loving life right now. But I'll try my best for you to give you as best commentary as possible. Monkey Mafia is going to come across the line now to set a 148, which is 8 seconds slower than his current time, maybe just having a cool down lap to go again. Obviously these intermediate tyres do not wear down too quickly, so you can do multiple laps on those tyres. And now Blythe just coming through to the start of sector 3 for his first lap to be put down with 10 minutes gone so far in this session. Unfortunately has invalidated quite a few of his laps, but he's coming around the front corner now. No, he's going to go straight into the pits. So it looks like Nilla will be next across the line, but doesn't look like he's improving on his time any more than what he was. So will he be going into the pits? Yes, he will. Next across the line, it looks like that will be Joe, who will be starting their hot lap very soon. Currently running in P4, only 2 tenths behind third place, which is the McLaren of Sicario. Next we have got, I believe, is our current pole sitter of Stefan, who's currently on his lap. We'll stay on board with him and see if he is improving or not. And I believe the Monkey Mafia is just behind him, so both Williams out on track currently. Sorry, the Monkey Mafia is now being noted Williams. So it looks like Stefan is not improving on his time. It said he was 2.6 seconds down, and the Monkey Mafia is also 10 seconds down as well. It does look like the rain has stopped though, so will we see anybody come out on the soft compound tyres? And there it is, you can see people have put on the soft compound tyres as it is, and Joe has spun and lost a wing. And we'll stay on board with him as he turns around. He's hit his back of his car onto the wall, and that might be a sign of showing that the intermediates on the circuit, maybe the circuit is starting to dry up a little bit, but the soft tyres are coming out, so this could change a lot of things. And Blythe obviously still has not set a lap time, and he's might want to come into the pits at the end of this to put on some soft compound tyres. You can see they're just losing the back end a little bit out the exit of that corner. But is it a risk worth taking for Blythe, as he's only got 5 minutes left of this qualifying session? So DRS is enabled, and that will definitely indicate the Blythe that the soft compound tyres might be the option to go for. Vano has retired at the start of sector 1 then. Let's jump on board with, no, we will not be able to. So it looks like Vano now, currently sat in 10th, will not be able to improve on his time at all. And Blythe does come into pit, so he's going to be chucking on those soft compound tyres, I would imagine, along with a few other drivers. So Eagles as well is coming in, and Stefan is also coming in. So all the drivers coming into the pits, and I imagine they'll all be chucking on the soft compound. So we will just wait for the first driver to come out. Maybe they're going to save it to the very last minute so the track dries up as much as possible. But you can see there quite a few drivers now switching to the soft compound to try and put in a quick lap near the end of the session as it is drying up. So it looks like Blythe is first out, and that would make sense as he's going to have to do 2 laps on those soft compound tyres as he's not got a lap down yet, so better play it safe and come out early to make sure that he in fact does get a time down for this qualifying session, else he will be starting at the back of the grid. So we'll stay on board with the Red Bull driver as obviously currently being the only one out on track. You can see him sliding around just a little bit. Jasper does as well now come out of the pits. And we got a few more drivers now, so quite a few drivers are now coming out of the pits. But Blythe is going to want to get around the track as quickly as possible to be able to get some times down and be able to work his way up the grid, as starting in 11th will not do him any help at all, especially being in the fight to win this championship for Division 2 currently. So currently the only person to not switch over so far is in fact Village, who has still got an intermediate tyres. He is not asked for the soft tyres to be put on just yet. I imagine he'll be doing it a little bit later, maybe in 1 minute time. But anyway, Blythe is about to start his hot lap now. We'll stay on board with the Red Bull driver and see what time he can produce on those soft compound tyres. I imagine these conditions will be very tricky indeed on the soft compound, but he needs to get this right as a lot depends on it for his championship battle with Jasper, who's currently running in P5 with a 1:39.8. He is also out right now on a hot lap, and you can see that Blythe has spun it, which means that these soft compound tyres are not working at all, and it looks like he has actually retired from the session and gone into the wall there. So that actually is Blythe out of the session, and he'll be starting in P11, so he's got a lot of work to do during this race. And that is going to be lovely for Jasper, as he now knows he might be able to win this championship. As he sets fastest sector 1 overall, so currently the Aston Martin looking to try and go on the pole position, and you can see how dry the track is now. Running very wide there, but keeping it in bounds and not invalidate, that must have been very, very close indeed. But the Aston Martin finishes sector 2. He's currently nearly 5 seconds up on his time. You can see how well the soft tyres are working, and because of that he's going to be able to go on the pole position. But the track is constantly getting drier, so everybody behind him will have a slight advantage as the track will be drier and drier. So Jesper currently goes on the provisional pole with a 1:33.7. Next across the line looks like it will be the Alpine of, is that Stefan? Who looks like he is just starting his hot lap now. Next across the line looks like it will be Joe, who sets a 1:40 flat. He goes 3 tenths behind his teammate, currently it's the Aston Martin 1-2. Then we have got the monkey, sorry, it is Ray, who sets a 1:33.6, so it's 1 tenth quicker than Jesper, and in front of them is Sicario, who goes 7 tenths quicker than them. Next across the line, I believe it is the other McLaren of Nilla. Where can he put his McLaren as he finishes sector 2, 5.5 seconds up on his time? Where could he put this McLaren? Could it be a McLaren 1-2 as it stands? As he comes around the final corner now, it's going to be a 132.8, goes half a tenth quicker than his teammate to put it in McLaren 1-2 as it stands. But as I speak, Jesper is also on a lap, but going to have 1.7 seconds up on his time, which would be enough to put that Aston Martin in pole position. The Monkey Mafia now goes just ahead of Nilla in the McLaren to go on to pole position, but that's going to change once again as Jesper crosses the line with a 1:31.7. He now goes on to pole position. Next is the Ferrari to come around the final corner. He in fact is going to go just behind Jesper into P2. Stefan is 1/10 behind Jesper. He goes onto the front row into P2. Next across the line, it will be Ray and Joe Mama, as these two are the next two to cross the line. But it looks like them two have both finished their qualifying session as they are going very slow indeed. So Jesper, in the end, does manage to take pole position. So now I definitely can confirm that Jesper has only got to outscore Blythe by 5 points to win the championship. 5 points? No, 6 points. And if he manages to outscore Blythe by 6 points, exactly 6 points, Blythe will be 30 points behind him. And the only way Blythe will be able to win the championship then would be if Blythe won the race, got pole position and the fastest lap. So there is your qualifying results. 1/10 in it for the top two drivers, with Jesper taking pole position in the Aston Martin. Stefan takes P2 in the Williams. Eagles takes P3 in the Ferrari. Then it is the Monkey Mafia in P4 in the Williams. So good job for Williams on the first and second row. The two McLarens will both start on the third row of Nilla and Sicario. Then it is Ray in the Alpine in P7, Joe Mama in P8, Spillage in P9, Rano in P10, and to round us out is Blythe in P11. Now Blythe will get to decide what tyres he wants to start on in the race, but that will be the same with Spillage and Vano, obviously, as they done their qualifying on intermediates. So, onto the race now, and it does appear to be overcast. So, we might see some drops of rain in this race, but I imagine it will be dry for the majority of the race. You can see the cars there on the right. They'll just be setting their race strategy and their fuel for the race, and then we'll be jumping into this 50% race in Japan for Division 2, round 11 of TRRL. So obviously no formation lap in this race. It will be lights out and away they go with 5 red lights on. And the lights are out and they are underway. And Williams or Stefan looks to have got a better start than Jesper, but Jesper did manage to pull away in the later stages of this race as they go into turn 1. Looking at the front, it looks like Monkey Mafia has managed to get Eagles, but it looks like Eagles is going to fight back to be able to reclaim that position. And McLaren now of Nilla as well, just on behind them. So Gario's had a little bit of a problem at the start there. He's dropped back to P9. Blyther has moved up quite a few places. He's currently running in P8, trying to get around the outside of Vano. It looks like Joe and Spillage have had some problems on the start. It looks like Vano's in the wall. The AlphaTauri driver has already hit the wall, and that might cause a virtual safety car. I'm not too sure, but we'll hop back up onto the front of the pack, and Stefan is hunting down Jesper. Obviously, Jesper knows he can win the championship here today if he wins this and out. If he wins by 6 points ahead of Blyther, and Blyther currently storming his way through the pack, he's already up to P7. You can see in front of him Ray and Nil again a little bit out of shape. He's going to look to pounce on their mistakes as quickly as possible, and he can still see Blyther in the distance there, probably picking up and exceeding track limits there for going a little bit wide. But now the Alpine of Ray making a move on the McLaren, and it looks like he's got that move done. Now what is Blyther going to do? Is Blyther also going to go for a move? It looks like Nilla isn't even going to fight this one, and he's going to slot down into P7. So both McLarens losing positions on this opening lap, and that's Blyther now moved up into P6. So Jesper still leads this one, closely followed by Stefan, and I imagine these two are going to be battling for the majority of this race. But don't count Blyther out of this one. It's the pace he's got currently. He is flying his way through the grid. As he go through sector 1 now, the long windy sector, and can catch out quite a few drivers. So anything can happen in this race. All it takes is for Jesper to lose the rear end through sector 1 and the championship becomes wide open. Obviously the next race is France, so if anything does happen, the championship might be decided on the last round of the Grand Prix of the season, and it will be Blyther or Jesper who will win the title. Nobody else can. Only these two drivers are able to now win the championship. But it looks like Ray now trying to make a move on the Williams. He's going to go down the inside, getting very close indeed. And it might be Blyther now who was just sitting back waiting for an opportunity. What's he going to do? He's using ERS. He's got the overtake button on. It's like he's going to try and get past at the same time that these drivers are getting past. They might even go free press into this turn. It's like Blyther's going to be just behind. And it's like Blyther's just going to have to stay behind for a few more laps. Nilla as well, not far behind them. And you see now Blyther trying to go up the inside of the Monkey Mapper, and he might have got the move done, but Monkey Mapper is going to have the inside line coming out of the exit of the corner, so he's going to be ahead along the straight. But it looks like Blyther might have the faster car in the straight, and it looks like he does as they go side by side into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top here? And it looks like Monkey Mafia has actually cut the corner. I'm not too sure what happened there, but Blyther moves up into P5. The Monkey Mafia does lose quite a few positions. He's now down in P10. Doesn't look to have lost the wing, so he should be okay. But the battle still for P1 between Stefan and Jesper. 2 tenths separate these two, and they have been 2 tenths pretty much the whole of the first 3 laps. And that will all change once Stefan gets DRS onto Jesper. Eagles falling back a little bit. He is currently 3 seconds away from these drivers in front. Currently have the pressure of Ray in the Alpine just behind him, and then shortly he will also have Blyther behind him along with the 2 McLarens. That is not a nice camera angle indeed, is it, guys? So Stefan looks like he has had. What's happened to Jesper? Have I missed something here? I thought Jesper has dropped back quite a few seconds. Have I really missed something? Was I blind? Or was I must have missed something there. But Stefan has got past Jesper and is now 2 seconds clear of him. But we'll focus our attention for the battle for third now between Eagles and Ray, as Ray looks to try and get past Eagles as quickly as possible to try and catch back up to Jesper and Stefan. currently hunting down that Ferrari as he go into the hairpin. And looks like young white boy has managed to split the two McLarens, currently running in 7th place from last on the grid. Obviously was not able to make qualifying. He's up from P12 into P7. It looks like young white boy has managed to get past the McLaren as they're going side by side. Notice looks like he'd already got the move done before they get to the corner. But the two McLarens basically the exact same pace throughout this race. In qualifying they were split by less than a tenth. And now this could be the chance for Linda to get past, but Sicario will also have DRS on the car in front as Ray now finally gets past Eagles going into turn 1. Just in front of us we can see young white boy now trying his best to get past Blyther, and he's currently on the medium compound tyre, so young white boy really showing really good pace here in this Grand Prix. Blyther appears to be struggling a little bit now as he worked his way through the field fairly quickly at the start of this race, but doesn't seem to be catching too much on Eagles now. So Spillage, Rano and young white boy are the only drivers to decided to run the medium compounders. Young white boy gets all out of shape there, but he manages to keep it together. It was almost sideways at one point, I believe, unless I'm seeing things. But he's currently hunting down Blyther now, and I'm sure he will have the DRS along the main straight as he's only 5 seconds behind Blyther in the Red Bull, and you can see how much later he is braking. Very confident on those brakes, and now he's going to have a chance to hunt down Blyther along the main straight, and that is not the camera angle we want. We'll switch to Blyther to get a better one as young white boy. I don't think he's going to be close enough to make the move. He's not, so he's going to have to follow young white boy through the sector 1 as they go. But obviously young white boy is sat in a very nice position right now, being on those medium compound tyres in this race, as he's going to have much stronger tyres near the end of the race. And obviously if a safety car does happen, and of course it is Japan, so I imagine it will most likely happen, so that might benefit him greatly in this race, as it looks like he's just getting held up a little bit by Blyther currently, but I'm sure it's not going to damage his race too much as he'll be able to go long on those medium tyres. So 6 laps gone so far, still no retirements. I'm rather surprised about that. So good job so far to all the drivers, and I've just jinxed it. That's Vano, isn't it? So Vano spun around, but he's not out of the race, so that's not on the retirement. We're still in it. Are we going to go the whole Japanese race without a retirement? If we do, I'll be amazed. But it looks like Blyther now has caught up to the Ferrari in front of him. Half a second split them two. And there's that Vano again. Vano not having a very good time at the back of the grid currently. Struggling a lot. Maybe the setup for him is not working at all. And it looks like Blyther's going to make the move down the inside. Eagles is not going to stand a chance. Obviously not having the inside line through there does not help you one bit, and obviously it is a heavy braking corner and such a long corner as well. And that is now Blyther moved up into P4. So young white boy now will look to get past Eagle. I was about to call him Eagle Piggle. Now looks to get past Eagle in the Ferrari. He's going to maybe make a move now into this corner after a mistake from the Ferrari driver. He gets the move done. And that's him now up into P5. So he's going to be looking to chase down Blyther. And also a little bit further back, looks like Sicario might be trying to line up a move on Eagles now. But it looks like the Aston Martin of Joe is also trying to get past the McLaren driver. It doesn't look like he's going to be able to around the outside there. So Joe still stuck behind the McLaren driver of Sicario. He'll look to try and get past as quickly as he can. Jesper and Stefan are now split by 5 seconds, so a big gap has formed between those drivers. Ray in the Alpine is only 1.5 seconds behind Jesper now. That gap has closed. Blythe 2.5 seconds behind Ray in White Boy, just sneaking into the DRS of Blythe there to try and hold on, and Joe is the first retirement of this race. Where has Joe retired? I don't know, because it looks like it is on the long left-hander, and there had to be one, but thankfully we don't have a safety car, so we are still racing, which is great news. But we'll hop on board. Who shall we hop on board with? We'll stay on board with the McLaren driver, as he's currently the closest to the next car, and that car is Eagles. And looks like Young White Boy's actually lost it. Looks like he's currently in the gravel, and that's not going to be good news for him. Has he got damage is the question. At those medium tyres, you're going to want to go as long as possible, but having damage on them is not going to help one bit. His front wing looks okay, but that does not mean he has not got damage. So that is going to affect his race massively, which is really unfortunate for the Mercedes driver. He was going so well, starting from last on the grid and up into 5th place by the 8th lap on the medium compound. But anyway, the two McLarens now fighting back after the start that they had, which was not the best indeed. They did both fall down quite a few positions, but they are slowly but surely working their way back up the field together. Actually, it looks like Sicario is almost towing Nilla along in this race, as now they look to get past the Ferrari driver of Eagles. Looks like Ray now as well has caught up to Jesper. He's currently in the DRS of the Aston Martin driver, and looks like we've had somebody come off. Is that Vano again? It looks like it is Vano again, just struggling so much with his setup that he currently has, and he does not have a wing either. You don't want to get in the way of any of the drivers, Vano. That would be not ideal for the drivers racing for the higher positions. It looks like Vano is struggling today in Japan, and it looks like Young White Boy has actually retired from the session now. I believe that is through sector 1, and that will be a safety car now. This is going to be very interesting indeed, as who is going to be able to make medium tyres go for 18 laps. Now I imagine that is very doable on the medium compound, and I'm sure we'll have quite a few drivers coming into pit very shortly. So Stefan is the first car to pit. I imagine he'll be putting on the medium compound. And you can see, yeah, there the yellow ring tyres are available, and also for Jesper the yellow ring is going on. Same with Ray, who is putting on the medium compound tyres. I imagine Eagles will be getting on to the medium compound. Yes, I'll be very surprised if we do see somebody putting on the hard compound, and unfortunately Nilla has got held up in the pits by his teammate. Obviously the double stack has in fact split the two McLarens. The Monkey Mafia now in the Alpine, the Williams, has managed to jump Nilla in the pits, which is really unfortunate for Nilla. And Vano just slowly but surely making his way around the track. He's currently got Blythe behind him, so I imagine he will not be able to overtake the safety car. So we'll wait for the drivers to catch back up, and then to get going again in this race. So hopefully the safety car might be in this lap, but I imagine it'll probably go around for an extra lap. So it looks like we will have the safety car lead us around for one more lap of this race. I'll be very surprised if it does not come in next lap. I'll be very disappointed too. But my guess will be in this lap come in now that they have just gone on to. So currently, hold on, let me get up the position changes for you. It had to be the day, but I didn't feel very well for there to be only 10 drivers. Makes my life even more difficult, doesn't it? But hopefully you guys are still enjoying the commentary. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm getting very confused. Right, there we go. So Stefan currently moved up one position and he is currently sat in P1. Jesper moving down one position, obviously being overtaken by Stefan. Ray has managed to move up 4 positions. He's now up in the P3. Blythe has managed to work his way up through the field. He's currently running in P4. Unfortunately, Eagles has moved down 2 positions. He's currently running in P5. And the McLaren driver of Sicario is running in P6, started in P6, so nothing won or gained there for him. The Monkey Mafia has moved down into P7, losing 3 places in this race so far. Nilla, also the other McLaren, losing 3 positions early on in the race and obviously 1 in the pits. He's currently running in P8. The 2 AlphaTauri drivers not losing or gaining any positions. They're currently running in P9 and 10. Now obviously they've only got to finish this race to get some points, so that is promising for them. Now come on, safety car, yep, there we go, safety car is in this lap, so that is absolutely wonderful. We will be going very shortly as Stefan does back up the rest of the drivers. So the Williams drivers will decide when to go, and it looks like he has now put his foot down. In fact, he has caught Jesper napping just a little bit, and you can see that gap already. It's at 9/10, nearly a whole second. But Blythe has reacted very well to the safety car restart, and he could be looking to try and get past Ray going into turn 1. Looks like he tucks in behind, doesn't want to risk the move, chucking his car up the inside. So he currently still follows Ray through sector 1. But it looks like Stefan has got away very well on that safety car restart. So Blythe now following Ray through into sector 2, but it looks like Ray as well is also trying to get past Jesper. Jesper could be under threat here, and this could definitely shake things up for the championship battle. So 3 cars battling for P2 currently. Looks like Stefan has checked out once again. He is gone. He is wanting to get his foot down and ahead of the other drivers to try and keep and cement his position for the win here in Japan. Only 15 laps left of this race. We're coming up to the halfway point. It looks like Eagles has already dropped back 2 seconds to Blythe. You can see the gap there in the background, how much it has formed. And it looks like Sicario might be trying to line up a move, doesn't look like he's going to be able to do so. A little bit further back, Spillage might be having an opportunity here to get past Nilla. Obviously DRS is not enabled just yet, he's not going to be close enough to make that move. So just a little bit of a nervous moment there for Blythe. You don't want to be on those curves for too long as they could spin you round. And that's what they like doing to me anyway. But now Stefan has gained 3 full attempts the last time we talked about him and Jesper. So he is gaining at around 5-6 attempts a lap to Jesper, which is a very, very, very big difference indeed. And he's going to want to be pulling away as quickly as he can, and he could be in a very good position here to win this race. So the AlphaTauri driver also still trying to get past Nilla here. Vano just falling back a little bit once again. He's really not got his setup right today, which is really unfortunate for the AlphaTauri driver. But DRS will be enabled in the lap coming, which will definitely change quite a few things, as all our drivers apart from 3 are all within 1 second of another. No, only 1 DRS straight in Japan. I've only just noticed that. And it's not a very long DRS straight indeed. I thought there was one on the end of sector 2, but apparently not. So we are now halfway through this race, and we've only lost 2 drivers, which is okay for Japan, I won't complain. But the McLaren driver currently under pressure from the Monkey Mafia, and the other one under pressure from Spillage. A little bit further up, we've still got Ray on the back of Jesper, but now DRS has been enabled. Will that help Ray be able to pass Jesper? Jesper does not have DRS in front, so I believe that is falling back a little bit. With the help of DRS, will Ray be able to get past Jesper? And you can see the speed difference. Yes, he will. That's a very easy pass indeed for the Alpine. He'll now move his car up into P2, and you can see Blythe there just almost sliding around the corner. It looks like he was struggling a little bit there going into turn 1. But Jesper following closely through sector 1. It does look like Spillage has also managed to get past Nilla. Very good job there for the AlphaTauri team to manage to pass the McLaren driver of Nilla. But now will Jesper be able to keep on the back of Ray to be able to try and keep up with him in the slightly yellow sector 1? Now will be Vano once again just struggling a little bit here in Japan. Well, it looks like Ray has in fact broken the DRS to Jesper, so this will be a lovely opportunity now. Oh, Blythe, but in fact Jesper has sneaked back into the DRS. So it looks like Jesper will get DRS along the main straight, which is not going to help Blythe one bit, and I thought Blythe went straight on there, just a little bit of lag for us. But with DRS open, he will have a little bit of a toe, but I don't think it's going to be enough to get past Jesper. But he is closing that gap. It's now less than 2 tenths. This is going to be enough by the time he gets to turn 1, and he's drifted round turn 1. He's done very well to keep that together indeed. And he's a very lucky man. The Monkey Mafia has managed to get past Sicario going into turn 1. I'm sure Sicario will be fighting for that position back next lap. So only 1 penalty so far in this race, and that penalty is to Vano for exceeding track limits, which I probably think is a bit harsh. It's probably been given to him for going off into the gravel somehow, and well, we all know what the game is like. So good job so far for the whole 10 drivers that we have in to only have 1 penalty among them. Definitely an improvement from the last race. Now Jesper is only 4 tenths behind Ray, so he has in fact closed that gap, and will he be able to get past with the help of DRS? And my guess is yes, he will. So Jesper now on the back of Ray. Will he be able to get past? And it looks like Jesper that losing the rear end ever so slightly, and that's going to give Blythe now the opportunity to get past along the main straight. Both of them have DRS wide open. They're going to go side by side into turn 1. Who's going to come out on top? It looks like Blythe is going to try and take the inside line. He's drifting around the corner once again. And Jesper, because of that, is going to be able to keep the position and stay in front in P3. Yeah, I'm quite surprised that there only is 1 DRS in this race. I thought there was 2, but apparently there's only 1, so overtaking here actually is very difficult indeed. But only 10 laps remaining of this race. Currently Stefan is flying ahead with the lead, but these 3 cars right here are battling for that P2 position. And most importantly, Jesper and Blythe will be wanting it as more than each other, as these 2 are the championship contenders. Red Bull looks to have dropped out of DRS ever so slightly here, which is not good news at all for the Red Bull driver. But it looks like now, just like the McLaren driver Sicario has had a problem there at the exit of the final corner in sector 2. Not too sure what's happened to him, but just for now, second time round, will he be able to get past Ray? It doesn't look like he's going to be close enough to make a move into turn 1, and it looks like he will not be able to make that move, so he's going to have to follow Ray through for a whole nother lap. Looks like Blythe has fallen back quite a lot to these drivers, which is not going to be good news for him for the championship battle. Spillage as well, not far behind Nilla, as we see currently Nilla's teammate getting a wing replacement there. Also just in front of them is Eagles and the Monkey Mafia battling it out for that P5 position. So Jesper once again chasing down Ray, only 6 tenths separates them this time, but that's not going to be enough to be able to get past it. Jesper is just going to be able to catch up Ray a little bit through the main straight with the help of the DRS, and then maybe he won't be able to have another go next lap unless Ray can break the DRS to Jesper. Eagles now with the DRS wide open, he's going to be chasing down the Monkey Mafia, but not going to be close enough to make that move into turn 1. Just behind them is Spiller and Nilla and Spillage, who are chasing each other down for that P7 position. So 3 battles going on currently: battle for P2, the battle for P5, and the battle for P7. But it's like Eagles is dropping back a little bit to the Monkey Mafia. He might have just ran out of ERS and be struggling a little bit as the Monkey Mafia takes a little bit of the grass there along that straight. But now just about only 5 attempts behind Ray. Now this could be his opportunity here as he switches on the overtake and now turns it off, wants to save it as much as possible. But all he's got to be around 3 to 4 attempts behind Ray along the main straight to have a chance at in fact getting past, and he could be that here as he's now dabbling in the 3 attempts mark. He does go a little bit deep into the final corner, but he should be okay as he gets a little bit out of shape once again, and that's not going to help him one bit. And he has dropped back once again and is now 9 attempts behind Ray, so he's going to have to make up time once again throughout the rest of this lap. But only 7 laps remaining of this Grand Prix, and Spillage does decide to come into pit. Now, is he putting on soft tyres? Why is Spillage pitting? So it's not a wing change, it's just a normal pit. So maybe he just wanted some new tyres, maybe he just wants to get to the end of this race in 8th place and doesn't want to have to worry about the grip levels of his medium tyres falling off, as I'm sure a few drivers will start struggling soon with the grip levels of their tyres as Sicario sets the fastest lap of this race. So Blythe now dropped back 3.5 seconds behind Jasper, and that's not going to be ideal at all for the Red Bull driver. Clearly struggling a little bit on the medium compound. So once again, along the main straight, Jasper will be closing that gap with the help of DRS. But there are only 6 laps left of this race. Well, 7 if you count the lap we're on. So Eagles once again just trying to catch back up to the Monkey Mafia. He's currently dabbling on the outside of the DRS to the Williams driver, just dropping in to the DRS for every little second and then dropping back out. But he'll probably be saving his DRS for the activation zone to try and keep up with the Monkey Mafia, to try and have that DRS along the main straight. Looks like as well. Looks like Jasper is also struggling to keep within DRS of Ray. And that is going to be good news for Lifer, as he's not going to want Jasper finishing too high up. And it looks like Jasper has now lost DRS to Ray, so we will now focus our attention on the battle for P5 between the Monkey Mafia and Eagles. As you can see there, the Monkey Mafia taking a much more tighter line through the final corner, and Eagles taking a much wider line. But in turn 1, not going to be close enough to make a move. Ferrari driver is going to have to follow the Monkey Mafia once again. So Eagles only now 9 tenths behind the Monkey Mafia. He's going to want to try and catch up as quickly as he can to try and stay in that DRS. As he's got a really good chance here today to try and get P5 in this race. The Ferrari driver currently hunting down the Williams driver. Just dropping out of DRS there, and that might be Eagles without DRS along the main straight, as he did drop out of DRS. And that is Eagles without DRS, so this could be a nice opportunity now for the Monkey Mafia to in fact pull ahead of Eagles. But Eagles is closing that gap once again and is nearly just into DRS, and it's like he's gone wide, and now he's going to be going through the gravel, and that's going to be nice for Nilla to see, as Nilla's now going to in fact overtake Eagles and move up into P6, sorry. So that's really unfortunate for Eagles actually finding the grass there, and once you're on the grass it's very hard to get off the grass in Japan. So that's him now moved down into P7 due to a small mistake. Nilla will be delighted with that and will move up into P6. Now unfortunately for me, there is not really much to comment on, as all the drivers are at least 2 seconds apart. But we'll stay on board with Eagles, as he is closing the gap ever so slightly to the McLaren driver. And the gap between Ray and Stefan are just less than 2 seconds for them, to also very close indeed. Joe, it does look like there is little drops of rain falling down. I don't know if I am seeing things, but that does look like there is in fact a few drops of rain, and that's Nilla in the wall. The McLaren driver has found the wall, and maybe there are a few drops of rain, as it looks like he has just lost the car completely, and you can see there in the wall through the next corner now on the right here, the McLaren driver in the wall. That's his race over, and Eagles now moves up back into P6, which is great for Eagles, not good for Nida, as his teammate currently goes past now. Zano will be coming into the pits. Doesn't look like there will be a safety car out just yet, but that is now Nilla in the McLaren out of this race, and that's really unfortunate for him with only 3 laps to go of this Grand Prix. So Stefan still leading this one quite comfortably. Blyther has now, in fact, what has happened to Blyther is the Monkey Mafia somehow got past Blyther. Blyther's currently running in P5. He's going to want to try and get past the Monkey Mafia as quickly as he can. Yeah, just cutting the corner a little bit, just trying to get into the DRS there of the Monkey Mapper. He is going to have the DRS on the Williams driver. He's going to want to try and get past as quickly as possible, as these points might be crucial in this championship battle with Jesper. Currently chasing him down. He's only got 2 more laps left of this race to do it. So Blythen now very eager to get past. He's only got this lap really to do it, as next lap, on the final lap, he will not have DRS to the Monkey Mafia, so he's going to have to get by this lap using the DRS. And Blythe has in fact picked up a 3-second time penalty, and that's going to impact him massively, as he's now going to drop down in P5 anyway. And it looks like he's absolutely cut the corner there in frustration almost, as he now goes into the pits. He doesn't seem too happy with himself, as he now knows he has lost the championship. So quite a lot of frustration there for the Red Bull driver, knowing that because of that 3-second time penalty, the championship has in fact slipped out of his hands. So Jesper will happily drive home now, as he laps Vano, but he will know that he will be the championship winner of Division 2 in Season 3. So Stefan will come across the line to win the Japanese Grand Prix, closely followed by Ray, who takes P2, but Jesper will come across the line on the podium to win the Division 2 Season 3 championship and be the champion of this season. The Monkey Mafia will come home to take P4, Eagles will take P5, Spillage in P6, Sicario in P7, and Vano will in fact take P9. So congratulations to Jesper on winning the Division 2 championship, as Ray does pick up driver of the day, and congratulations to Stefan on winning the Japanese Grand Prix. So there are your final results. Oh well, they're not up yet. I'm too used to saying it automatically. Sicario does pick up the extra point for the fastest lap of this race, but those will be your final results, and also a new Division 2 champion of Jesper in the Aston Martin. That's all for today. I will catch you next week, where we'll be in France for the final race of the season. And I hope you all have enjoyed this one. Once again, I'm sorry that it was not the same as normal. I've not been very well, but I tried my best to give you the best I can. But thank you for joining me, and I'll hopefully see you next week.